So given everything that we've just talked about, everything that organizations are facing, brands are facing, why is it that not every brand, not every organization is fighting friction?
Oh, every brand's not fighting friction because there's the machine and these shiny objects, right? So I guess an anecdote will bring it to life best. We were working with one of the world's biggest food companies. And this was maybe half a dozen years ago, and they brought us in, they wanted us to help them launch a new product. So they said, what do you think? You know, what's your big idea? I'm like, blah, 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 blah. You know, gave the whole pitch. We thought we're all smart and everything. And the woman we were speaking with, she just started laughing, literally laughing at us. I was like, wow, this is interesting. But, you know, I was kind of into it. I was like, she knows what she's talking about. If she's going to laugh at our ideas, she must really know. And she's like, here's the way this thing is going to go down. And she's like, we're going to spend X dollars here, X dollars there, X dollars there. That's fine, classic media planning. And she's like, and here's how we're going to make the 30-second spot. We're going to spend 9 seconds with a woman who gets in, onto the camera, walks into the living room. 3 seconds, she's going to hold up the product. 6 seconds, she's going to smile with a friend on the couch. And she had broken it down, not just mathematically about dollars, but mathematically creative. He was right. He was absolutely right. Like, they had worked on this model for decades and decades and decades. Except for one thing. The way that people interact with that ad has been completely disrupted. People are no longer sitting on the couch like, let me look at this ad. This is great, right? That worked back in the day. But when things got disrupted by search and social and mobile technology, people started avoiding ads. There was an ethnographic research study that was conducted recently. And what they wanted to know is, how are people interacting with TV ads? What they assumed they were going to find is that people are fast forwarding on their DVR over TV ads. That's not what they found. People just take their mobile device, look down, mess around on Instagram, poke around on Facebook, do a couple things on Snapchat. 3 minutes later, look back up. Hey, there's my TV show. Hey, there's my sports game. So it actually looks like, here's your misguiding data, it actually looks like the ad is being seen. They didn't even click the channel or fast forward over it, but emotionally, they're missing the ad. So in that example, she works at this multi-billion-dollar organization with an infinite number of case studies and data points. And they've optimized this entire system, which worked perfectly well until a few years ago when everything was completely disrupted. Now, it's not just the machine, which, by the way, it's not just organizations. There's an entire ecosystem, right? You do pretty well in high school, you go to Harvard, you go to Harvard Business School, you go to one of these huge organizations, you do some cool creative. There's a town in France, Cannes, which is completely dedicated to the advertising industry. Like, there's this giant machine. And then there's the shiny objects. Snapchat, Facebook a few years ago, Instagram, who knows? I mean, by the time we get out of this room, there's probably 3 more platforms out there. And each of these seem really interesting because the audience is flocking to them. Like, yeah, man, I love Snapchat. Kids love Snapchat. They're gone. Like, done. I'm done with Facebook. I'm going over to Snapchat. So brands are like, well, if that's where the audience is, we need to be there. It's natural, right? Soap operas are called soap operas because the audience was there and Ivory Soap came along, right? The issue is that people don't necessarily want brands there. And at the very least, they don't want brands there in the same old way. They don't want to be interrupted. They don't want friction to be created. They need a new strategy. They need brands to fight friction. So the machine still works. Traditional advertising still works. The shiny objects still work. Social media works. But you need a new strategy. You need to empower people, not just interrupt them.